Welcome back to MICECon 2023. There's more stories to tell about the Philippine weave culture. It tells us about the artistry and creativity of our communities. It speaks about our local weavers' resiliency and dedication to upholding their traditions. At the end of the session, we hope that you will have a better appreciation of the colors of the Philippine tapestry and how we can wear it with power and portray a positive perception that exudes confidence, strength, and reliability. To talk about power dressing for modern Filipinas, how to don an image of power using Philippine weaves, let us all welcome Ms. Kat Cruz Villanueva, the head stylist and co-founder of the Style Edit Group, and Ms. Apples Aburin, marketing maven and fashion key opinion leader.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. It's wonderful to see so many of you here. Thank you for signing up to our session. We're really happy to see everyone. We were scared that no one would sign up. So when we saw everyone lining up, we were like, wow, super grateful. So thank you so much. So maybe before we start, please allow me to introduce myself because I'm sure not a lot of you know who I am. So I've been in the fashion industry for more than 30 years now. I started out as a fashion model, ended up being an editor for some of the fashion pages of our newspapers and some magazines. I was even the resident judge of Project Runway Philippines for about 4 seasons. So I've been around for quite a while, but I've had a lot of career incarnations. So I've gone to the dark side, marketing, in Unilever. No, I'm just kidding. It's really good to be there. And then, I'm also helping out the tourism industry through our COO, Miss Marga Nograles. So I'm happy, so happy to be here today to talk about 2 things I'm very passionate about. One is fashion, as I've mentioned, and the other is Philippine weaves. And how we can actually incorporate these weaves into our everyday wear or work wear and don it with pride, with passion, right? And wear it with beauty and grace, of course. So that's why we're here today. So maybe allow me to start with this quote by Miuccia Prada. I'm sure everyone knows Prada here, right? Yes. Otherwise, you won't be in this room today. I think. So, what you wear is how you present yourself to the world, especially today when human contacts are so quick. Fashion is instant language. Don't you agree? Yes. What you wear is what you actually communicate to the world. And what is it that we want to communicate here in the tourism and MICE industry? What we want to communicate is professionalism, competence, expertise, and credibility. That's why we make an effort to look good, right? To look well groomed, to be put together. We at the tourism and MICE industry, it's upon us to look great and to look professional because we are brand ambassadors ourselves, right? We represent the tourism industry, your different corporations, your different sectors. Don't you agree? So we all have to make it a point to look great and to always present ourselves the best way we know how. But there's more to it than that. How do we do it with pride of place? How do we carry our culture, right? We just can't end there. All of you already look so great. I mean, being up here and looking down there, I'm like, uwi na lang ako. Because everyone looks good already. But I guess today I'm here really to share with you how we can then carry our culture. And that's the tagline of COO Marga. From the first day I met her, everything she said was, carry your culture. And I'm like, she's right. Who else will do it? We should start, right? We should start doing it. The thing is, today, we're so happy to see that a lot of inspiring women are actually doing this, right? They wear weaves because they wear their culture, we support our communities, and we are the ambassadors for all things Filipino. I have to do this because my eyes are so bad and I didn't want to wear glasses. So please be patient with me. So as I was saying, it's a way to support different communities from all over the Philippines, from all the way up north, down south. like in the Cordilleras, you'll have the ikat weaves you have Abel from the Ilocos region, you have Hablon from Iloilo, and even from South Cotabato, Lake Cebu, you have Tinalak, and that's just four that I'm mentioning. There's so much more. We recently concluded Likha just a few days ago in PICC, and there were more than 57, or there were 57 weaving communities present there, and that made me think there's so much we can do. There's so much we can wear. There's so much we can carry with pride. So I hope today, as we are here, you learn a little bit about this and then you start to incorporate it into your everyday workwear as well. So I'll get started by introducing our guest. I preempted myself. Okay. We're very fortunate to have two very special guests here today who will share with us how they actually wear Philippine weaves with pride and power. So the first guest, as you saw, is no stranger to us here in the Tourism Promotions Board. She inspires us every day, literally, when she walks into the office looking so great in her Philippine weaves, and we look at ourselves and we're like, how does she do that? Because she's such a busy woman, and yet she's able to do it every single day. And she's always been known to carry her culture, like I was telling you earlier. And she has been a major proponent and champion of Filipiniana and weaves from Mindanao. Who's heard of Kaayo? Modern Mindanao. There. So it was actually COO Marga who started that. And this movement to carry your culture. So I'm so proud of her for this. And you know what? She was recently named Preview's Best Dressed on top of everything else. And not only that, she's a mother to three very intelligent, kind, and good-looking children. And she's also wife to our Civil Service Commission Chair, Carlo Nograles. But she's a woman, a powerful woman in her own right, and today she will be with us to share a few things. Please welcome COO Marga Nograles. Hello.
Hello, apps. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Good afternoon to everyone and welcome to Davao City. Is it your first time in Davao? No. Okay. Whose first time in Davao? Can you raise your hand? Wow! Okay, welcome. And I hope you enjoy your stay in my home. I'm from Davao, actually, born and raised in Davao. I'm from Mindanao. So I'd like to thank you, Abs. As you can see, she's losing her voice. But she's here with us anyway this afternoon. So, okay, shall we sit? Okay, we will sit.
So I asked our COO to come up on stage. I'm sliding down the chair. I will stand up. So I asked our COO to join us because, as I said, she's a proponent of Filipiniana and Philippine weaves here from Mindanao. So I wanted to ask her a few questions, starting with, how did this journey begin? Like, where did this love for Philippine weaves start?
So for me, to share my story personally, I grew up with my mom, Baby Montemayor. I don't know if some of you might know her. She has been volunteering for the love of Davao, for the love of tourism all my life. So I grew up looking at her promoting what is uniquely ours as a Davaoeña, as a Mindanaoan. So, she would come home with new jackets from the Mandaya tribe or the latest from the Tiboli Dream Weavers. And I was young, and I would see that and I'm like, okay, Mom, you have so many jackets already, right? So parang it's endless. We have all these jackets. And she was just so passionate, buying it and wearing it just to promote local. When I was younger, I felt, okay, I will use it for Linggo ng Wika or as a costume, maybe. But that's how I grew up, seeing that from my mom. I guess without my realizing that, of course, growing, I was influenced by that. So shortly after, I worked as a buyer for Paul Smith Philippines. It's a British brand. So they would send me to Paris twice a year to buy. Then I learned merchandising, buying, trends, global trends. I was there for 4 years. And then after that, when I came back to Davao, I married my husband, who was the congressman of the first district of Davao City. So in my office, many would come for help, support for this, for that. And the closest to my heart were the indigenous communities coming to me to ask for help, random, no, to help for their, to pay for electricity or maybe to help for education of their children. And that's when I realized, you know what, why don't we do a business together? So that's how my love for really trying to work towards giving livelihood to our communities. So that's how it started lang talaga. I wanted to give livelihood to our indigenous communities.
Thank you for sharing that, COO. Doesn't that deserve a round of applause, ladies? And she still does it to today. I mean, Kaayo lives on, and now even in TPB, we have community tourism tours where we actually go to the weaving communities and educate them. So it lives on and continues. But let's go back to your style journey because I want to understand. I've seen Marga for many, many years, and she's always been stylish. But how has it evolved from when you were a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and now the head of the Tourism Promotions Board?
I want to share that your unique style is yours. For me, it's always comfort over fashion, always. So for me, I have to be comfortable first to even be fashionable. Because if I put something together, I have to know that I can walk properly, talk properly, sit down properly. So yes, I will share that this terno of mine that I was wearing since this morning is quite comfortable. And I will be wearing this till tonight, right? So when I make clothes in Kaayo, comfort always comes first. No? So sometimes there are some designers who we work with and they don't wear a terno. So sometimes when I wear it, it's not so comfortable, right? But with mine, I have to make sure that it's comfortable always. And when you talk about power dressing or my style, I think that's what makes my style unique. That again, I can go from day to night and everything I wear is purposeful. And I feel, I feel confident that there is a story to what I'm wearing, right? So these are gifts that I'm wearing right now. This is by Philip Rodriguez, of course, Pina. Philip Rodriguez from Cebu. It was a gift, but I have worn this maybe 5-6 times. I also want to share that I wear my clothes over and over again, right? I don't just wear it once and then that's it. For me, everything that I buy has to be able to I don't know, to live for the next few years. So paulit-ulit. I'm gonna not stop talking. So what's the next question?
Oo nga. And I also borrow her clothes.
Yes.
Those that fit me.
You know what? Apples has been such a big fan of Kaayo long ago when I started. So I'd like to thank her for that. Of course, Apples is a supermodel, has been our supermodel for a long time. Yes, of course, we all know Apples Sabirin. Yes. Let's give her a big round of applause, please. Thank you. For
The
doing
children
this for
in the
all
house
of us.
are like, ano daw?
Ah.
Diba? Parang they don't know.
They don't know. No, they know. They all clap.
Okay, last na lang. Top 3 tips on how everyone can incorporate weaves into their wardrobe.
Okay.
Para helpful. So now, maybe tomorrow, you'll wear weaves and a look for you.
Yes. Okay, first, Apple shared earlier that we just recently concluded the project of the First Lady, our First Lady of the Republic of the Philippines. It's called Likha. She brought all 57 weavers from all over the Philippines under one roof for the very first time. So just to share, that's only the beginning. So we have 57 communities around the Philippines, and they all have their craft. So we, as practitioners and professionals, I think should go out there and try to see how we can work with them and how we can support what it is they're doing. So that's first. I would always make sure there is a purpose to what I'm wearing. So every day that the world is your what did they say, your runway. So every day I want to dress again with purpose. So that's one. And next, what I always do is, again, I reuse my clothes, but without it looking the same. So I always have mix and match pieces. So a skirt, I mean, when I buy a piece, I want to make sure that I can wear it with everything else that I have. And to wear a weave, it does not need to be weave on weave on weave on weave on weave, right? So you can wear a plain skirt with a weave, or a plain top with a weave. So it's a mix and match.
There you go. Thank you so much, COO Marga, for sharing your time with us. I know you've been so busy the past few days. Isn't she the embodiment of carrier culture? And she does it with so much grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Abs, and thank you to everyone.
Don't worry, she'll still be here.
I'll be with you.
Yeah, we will have a Q&A so you can ask her questions like how does she stay so fit and trim, mga like that, diba? Is that comfortable, 3 inches heels, like that the whole day? So at this point, we have another very special guest who flew in all the way from Manila to be with us today. So she's a stylist to the stars and very much in demand. She's dressed up superstars like Heart Evangelista, the most beautiful faces in showbiz like Isa Calzado. And today she's here with us because she wants also to impart some of her knowledge to help us incorporate weaves into our wardrobe. So she's the founder and head stylist of Styled It. Please welcome Kat Cruz Villanueva. And she's shy girl, so let's encourage her a little bit more.
Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone.
You want me to do the clicking for you?
I'm okay. Hi. Thank you for having me. Okay. I'll find a seat before I start. So today I was invited to discuss power dressing. So what is power dressing? I'm just gonna throw away my cue cards and go with the definition that our COO gave, because she is the embodiment of power dressing. Agree, everybody? Yeah. But given that, there are a few general rules of power dressing. For me, number one is dress suitably. Each workplace has its own dress code. Given, there are typically 4 kinds of dress codes. There's business formal, business professional, business casual, and casual. So it greatly depends on the industry or the company or the work environment that you're in. But given that, even if, let's say, in your company, it's okay to dress casually, you still have to consider what you're doing for the day. Right? Like, let's say in your office, you're casual, but then you're going to meet or present to a lawyer or like a bank, then you do have to consider their dress code. Okay. And then the next one is to dress like you care. We always have to, sorry, hang on. Okay, do I stand? Do I just stand? Okay. So the second one is dress like you care. Always carry an air of professionalism, because if you dress sloppy or inappropriate, it shows that you don't care about how you look, and you tend to misrepresent yourself as someone who doesn't care about their job. Now, the third one is dress in modesty. What do we mean by dressing in modesty? That means avoid showing too much skin, because it's, in general, inappropriate, and it is a distraction. Also, sadly, it has a psychological impact that, if you show too much skin, it means like you're a little less competent, right? It's sad, but, that's the reality of things. So, with that, we move on to fit. This is the number one rule in styling. Fit is always key. It's something that you really have to give more attention to. So the number one is do not confuse size and fit. Size, when you go to the mall, is basically small, medium, large, or the scalar dimensions of a garment. Fit is how the garment conforms to your body. So there's, relaxed fit, slim, or classic fit. So both vary from brand to brand and even within brands. So it's really best to hit the dressing room and fit the clothes that you're supposed to buy. Now, the second one is to get your clothes altered. Perfect fit clothes should flatter your body. Two, draw attention to portions of your body you would like to highlight. And three, camouflage areas that you like to hide. Okay, the next one is dress for the body that you have. It is, I think, the cornerstone of dressing. And you really have to be honest about your body type. You have to embrace it, learn what works and what doesn't. Only then you'll feel comfortable in your own skin and exude that confidence that you need for yourself and for work when you present, and talk to other people. Now, the third one, for getting the fit perfectly, is to consider all angles and movements. So when you go buy clothes, you go to the dressing room, you sit, you turn around, turn to one side, turn to the other, sit, squat, because after all, it's a real life scenario that you're dressing for, not just a selfie. So you really have to cover all angles. Okay, so after that is you build your wardrobe powerhouse. Now here, we start off with, I'm suggesting to invest in pieces that work for you yourself and for the lifestyle that you lead. So as, business professionals, I do suggest that you, number one, invest in blazers and jackets. Psychologically, the psychological effect of putting on a blazer is instant. But the minute, okay, let's see, who are wearing blazers? Raise your hand and stand up. Let's see. There you go. Right? So when you were dressing up this morning, what was it like? You put on your t-shirt and then you put on your blazer. The effect that you feel powerful and well-dressed, it's instant. So the best really jacket or armor that you have for power dressing is a blazer and a jacket. Now second, I'm not sure if it's popular with you guys, but I do suggest pointed shoes. It looks sharp, sleek, and it seems like you're really out on a mission. Now this goes for even men. Leather shoes for men. It just looks cleaner and sleeker. Now, the third item that I suggest you invest in are structured bags. Now, avoid anything slouchy. Go for strong, definitive lines because it gives the impression that you have your stuff together in an organized manner. Can I see any takers? I see a neon green structured bag right there. Props to you, ma'am. Anybody else? Structure. The lady over here with a twilly. Yes, ma'am. Let's show everybody your perfect bag. Yes. Okay, the next one. Would be pieces with clean, structured lines and silhouettes. Now, it allows you to incorporate softer and relaxed garments while still keeping an air of professionalism. Like, let's see, Apples, do you see anybody? Oh, everybody's sitting, yeah. Okay, we'll go to it later. And lastly, I do suggest that you invest in quality basics, things that you can rewear forever. Like what our CEO mentioned earlier, when she purchases something, she makes sure that it's something that she can wear and mix and match with other pieces.
Actually, I think everything here harks back to what CEO was saying, including
Exactly.
if it's not comfortable, it's not fit. So it really starts with that, no?
It really starts with fit. Okay, so the next one is also what we're here for is incorporating the print into your wardrobe. So people usually shy away from prints in fear, in fear that they may seem loud, but actually it's a perfect way to showcase your personality. I want to ask people who are wearing prints to stand up. Ma'am? Yes. Oh, sorry.
Sige,
Who
I'll
else?
go na
Any
to the
takers?
audience.
Yeah.
I'll go na to the audience. Stand up and be recognized. Ganyan.
Yes. So,
Ganda.
ma'am, why, when you were dressing up this morning, why did you choose your dress?
Aside that it is required to wear something cantita,
Okay.
and then it should be blue or green. So I made it sure that I have the blue and green.
Okay.
I don't like cotton, so I like somewhere like silky or georgette. So it flows down because I'm quite on the heavy side. So it looks like I don't have a big tummy.
What about you, ma'am? What was in your head this morning when you were dressing up? Oh. Okay, so see, one more. Who else?
Wala lang. Just this morning, I picked this one, but then I said, oh, mataba ako, so I need something to cover it. So I put my...
Very clever.
Ay,
Love,
cool.
body love.
Body love.
Anybody else? Okay, so people always usually shy away from prints in fear that they may seem loud. But actually, it is the perfect way to showcase your personality. Like Madame over here, body love, and she looks really, her personality shines through because prints are usually attributed to being fun, which I think you are. Right? We'll know later. Also, prints draw visual attention to you and leaves a lasting impression. So people are more likely to remember you and your presence when you do wear prints. So again, for starters, if you're the shy type, choose accent pieces, like so. Here, so if at first you don't know how to incorporate the Philippine weaves into your wardrobe, you can start off with a bag or a scarf. Did everybody receive the nice scarf from the airport? Right, so that's a good start. Also, you can do footwear. It's over. Sorry, we don't see it. There, the photo on the leftmost. Yeah. Okay, the next. If you've adjusted well to wearing accent pieces, you can take it a step further by personalization. It means, reworking existing pieces, like changing a pocket or a lapel. You'll see it over here. This is, I think, Ayon. Yeah. They do so many of this. Or like here, this photo, she incorporated, this is an existing suit, and then they changed the lapels to incorporate some of the weaves. You can also decorate your cuff, collar, or hemline. Or here, the seams. Also, Miss Karen Davila over here. So these are good options in how to work Philippine weaves into your wardrobe. Now, when you've graduated from that, you can take it full on, embrace it full on, and don pieces that are made of Philippine weaves. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a terno. There's so much options available right now. But a few tips for wearing Philippine weaves. Bold prints usually work best with classic silhouettes or shapes because it has a tendency to overwhelm the senses if you make it, too big or too loud. So look for a sheath like the one of Marian Rivera or Catriona. Also a line or the one that our COO is wearing, or a pencil skirt. Now, if you're doing separates, choose only one article of clothing. Meaning, if you're going to do a Philippine weave, you can either just choose a skirt or a top so that it doesn't look so costumey like, you're going to be dancing a folk dance. Now, since we're working with prints, choose to wear it in the portion of your body that you want to highlight or bring attention to. Because prints have a tendency to, especially bold prints, have a tendency to make you, it calls attention. So wear it in portions of your body that you want to highlight. Also, there are some linear designs for Philippine weaves, like Ifugao weaves.
Yes,
Ifugao weaves are
quite
linear.
yeah.
Okay, I think, the one of Marian. Always remember that vertical lines add visual height and length, or horizontal lines add width. So let's say, like here in the mannequin, if you want to look taller, wear the weave as a vertical. If you're bottom heavy, wear a horizontal weaves on the top. So now for multicolored pieces, which I believe are very, it's a characteristic of Philippine weaves. For multicolored pieces, pair a neutral piece with it. So let's say if it's a strong color, then pair with a strong neutral. Let's say Madame's neon bag over here. And a good neutral color to pair with it is a strong neutral, like black or white. Now, we can also dress in monotone, meaning orange with peach, red with pink, or fuchsia with baby pink. For me, it's my favorite. It's my favorite way of dressing because one, it makes you look well put together, and two, it makes you look taller and slimmer. Yeah, sorry. We'll discuss that later on, like monotone dressing and putting colors together. Now, if you want to dress full-on color, like bright colors, try to pick an existing color from what's already present in the fabric so that you don't look like too much of a clown. So let's say here, in this outfit, there's so many colors available, right? So we chose black. You can also do maybe a red or a green or a yellow. So don't introduce any more color so that you look more put together and not too costumey. So moving on to colors. So colors and emotions. I just want to touch lightly on this subject because we all know the power of color in our daily lives, how it affects your mood and your outlook, right? So color also brings unity to your wardrobe, building a cohesive closet, making mixing and matching easier. So colors, now there's no hard and fast rules in dressing with color, but identifying which color best flatters your skin tone can help you stand out easily. So it's basically choosing your power color. Does anybody know their power color? Anybody? No? Apps? Do you know your power color?
Ask COO. She has a power
COO,
color.
what is your power color? Red. I think for most it's red, no? Like when when you know you have to close a deal, you have to feel beautiful, you wear red. What about the others?
Power
For-
colors.
For Pia, yes. Pia words back, it's royal blue. Meaning she found this color because it highlights her features the best. Now there are tips on how to find the perfect color for your skin tone. Okay. So skin tone is basically divided into cool, neutral, and warm. The best way to tell is if you look at your wrist,
Your wrists.
if your
You can tell.
if your veins are blue or purple, then you're in the
Blue or
cool
blue.
skin tone. If it's green, then you're in the warm skin tone. So again, there are no hard and fast rules on choosing your color or what works for you. Yeah, but these are just basic guidelines. So basically, if you're cool skin tone, these are the colors that work best for you. Also, silver jewelry. You know how sometimes you're buying jewelry and you can't decide, but you have to wear. You have to try it on. If you think silver works best for you, then you have a cool skin tone. If you think yellow gold works best for you, then you have warm skin tone. Now, if you can't tell, or you're one of the few lucky people, then you're a neutral, meaning you can basically wear anything and it works for you. Questions later pala. Okay. We can help you later discover your power color. So here again, as we discussed earlier, monotones and complementary colors. What you just have to do is go back to your grade school days, dig up your files. The color wheel works. It's there for a reason. So if you don't know what to pair with what, just go back to your color wheel. But again, personally, I do love monotones because they make you look more put together and it makes you look taller and slimmer. So with that, I wanted to discuss also lightly how to wear the weaves because some, I believe, have some rules,
That's right.
apps.
Yeah,
You care to elaborate?
Yeah, actually, yes, like when we were in Likha and the 57 weavers were there, we had the chance to talk to them and learn more about their craft. And, we asked them, so how's the best way to use the weaves or to wear them? So they said, nothing too revealing because it's part of their tradition and heritage and culture. So they were suggesting not to use it for, let's say, bathing suits or lingerie, but for our regular everyday wear, that's okay. And that came from the weavers. Of course, we want to also respect their culture and heritage there. That was what they were saying. Yes.
Are there also some weaves that are only for like when there's like living or mourning for celebration?
I'm sure there are, but they didn't really discuss that. Everything that was there in Likha was, for consumption to wear for the designers to buy for me even I went there and I bought some things for consumers. So nothing of that sort. But I'm sure they do weave certain things for ceremonial purposes, for weddings, for example, for burials and all these.
I think it's just trying to, be conscious and
Yes.
respectful of the culture before you wear anything.
Yes, agree.
Okay, last na ba? Just a few tips really for power dressing. Focus on your top half. You're basically sitting most of the time, talking to your client. So it's ideal that you concentrate anything that you want to highlight or on your top half because you're across the table, right? And then grooming. So care, keep your hair, make sure that your hair is well kept. Try to avoid always fluffing with your hair.
It's actually, did you guys also attend the Mac workshop earlier? It's so complementary to what we're talking about today, actually, and very helpful too.
The next one, under grooming, is nails. So make sure that they're clean and presentable. Often, because you're when you're talking, you're making hand gestures, so you don't want any distractions, which goes to the third one, accessorizing. When you're meeting or presenting, try to keep them at the minimum, so that there are no distractions. I think that on to our last slide before we go to the Q&A. I'm sure you guys have questions. Well, I hope that you guys have questions so that we can share more. Own your look. Formulate your daily uniform. It does not mean that you buy one piece in all colors. That's not what
Uniform
creating
means.
your daily uniform means. What it means is sticking to a formula. Choosing a silhouette or style that works best for you and your body and your lifestyle. Creating a daily uniform helps to ensure that you show up to work presentable all the time with minimal effort. I think the best example who has her daily uniform down pat is our COO. And also apps, I think after how many years of modeling, she knows. And then lastly is to go out with confidence. Own your look. Once you know what it is, own it. What we wear affects our self-confidence. We all know that. How we walk or how we communicate, it helps. Your clothing helps. So use your clothes as a tool to elevate your self-confidence.
There. Thank you, Kat. You did well for a shy girl. Guys, did you learn a lot from Kat today? We can actually ask questions, and we're gonna call on COO Marga. You can ask her questions too, nothing personal. Just about fashion and style. COO, would you like to join us? Oh, you can sit there. Oh. There. They're bringing comfortable chairs that you won't slide down from. Sir Arnold. Okay, who wants to ask first?
Don't be shy. We tried to discuss as much as we can in the
There you
limited
go.
time.
Please introduce yourself as well so we get to know you.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, ladies. My name is Jelly. I just wanted to ask because you emphasized dress for the body that you have, but our body goes through seasons and phases. And I am guilty of a closet that's bursting at the seams now because I'm still holding on to my pre-pandemic clothes, which means clothes that fit a body that was several pounds lighter. What is your tip for how long we should hold on to clothes? Like, there are pieces that I really love and I'm still holding on to it thinking that, no, I will lose weight and I will fit in that. And that hasn't happened in like 3 years. So what's your advice holding on to clothes, and how do we really dress for the body is it just for the body that we have today? Is it the body that we're aspiring to have? Or, yeah, tips, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. When we say the body that you have, it is the body that you have right now. Not the body that you used to have and not the body that you aspire to have. Now, my number one tip for you, is buy vacuum bags. If there are things that you are not really using right now, you can store them, vacuum pack it, and keep it first. Especially if these are like, expensive things or investment pieces, you can just keep them for a bit. But also at the same time, don't allow yourself to, if you're shopping for your body right now, don't buy pieces that are also too big. That's because in your psychologically, you're preparing yourself to just keep growing and growing.
I actually have the same problem. So,
Vacuum bags.
no, but I actually got rid of mine. So I just wanted to share. I got rid of mine. And to your point and to your point, I dress according to the fit. So that even though I'm a size bigger now, I make sure what I wear fits me well so I'm comfortable and I don't feel like I've gained weight because the proportion is good. Yeah. Not
To
that
share
I-
also in connection to that, so I have friends in Congress, like my good friend Congresswoman Stella Kimbo. She always buys a size bigger. Well, number one, she doesn't have time to fit anything. And then when she buys from me, she'll just, okay, just the bigger size. Because for her, it's better loose-ish than tight. So because the loose-ish, she can put a belt or maybe find a way to kind of dress it up better. Now, if it's tight, then she can't breathe and she's not comfortable. So I found that so funny because now that I'm working, I realize, correct, it's better it's loose than it's tight. Because if I'm sitting down, it's better that it's not so tight, right?
Yes, if you're really pressed for time and you don't have, the luxury of time to go and fit, it's better to buy a size up because you can always alter it or just accessorize. In the same respect, what I'm wearing is a men's barong, so I didn't really have time, so I just put a belt.
Yeah, and you got that just yesterday, right? Yes. She just grabbed it from her friend Mark Baumgardner and said, I need this. And she didn't even fit it. And that belt, I was going to say, you were talking about accentuating what you want to draw attention to. So it's a solid color. Now her waist looks like it's the smallest thing in the world. So I'm going to buy that belt like that also.
But her waist is the smallest thing in the world. Next question. Thank you for that. That was a very good question. And
Sige, go questions pa. It's only once in a while that we have
Yeah.
Kat with us. I promise you, it's so hard to reach her.
Hello po.
ooh, a gentleman
yes.
in the house.
Appreciate,
Yay!
appreciate the man.
Good afternoon. I already feel out of place because I'm I'm a male, and stereotypically males don't really like dress properly. I mean, I'm a living testament of it. My wife picked out my clothes for the 3 days, but being that we work in tourism, I work a lot with the LGUs. I travel the country, actually on my motorcycle, and I try to represent. But I try to use a pin of the flag in order to do that. But I'd like to be more genuine without being ignorantly, perhaps insulting to the local culture by incorporating weaves. And perhaps in one way or some way I could maybe influence some subculture, some like modern groups to kind of incorporate that the preservation of that culture into what becomes the norm of the modern world. And in doing that, I would like to solicit your opinion because my wife and I actually don't kind of know enough about about weaves or Philippine textile. We lean on a good friend, a balik batik if you are familiar, on a good friend to help us pick out our clothes. And so for people like us that don't exactly know weaves enough and do have the intention to incorporate it in our daily lives, especially in our business endeavors, what are tips that you can share?
So for me, so you know what? After this this talk, we can prepare a list for all of you, all our participants. We will give you the list of all the communities that was with us in Likha. So these communities, they have textiles. So weaves, all kinds of weaves. You have the hablon, you have piña, you have tinalak, and now they've figured out a technology to be able to have softer weaves using cotton. So we use that for the inabal, and then they try also with the tinalak, although not so much yet. But we'll give you their number, and then we will also give you a list of different brands that actually already have men's shirts, modern day ternos, everyday ternos, dresses, ganyan. And I also wanted to add, in light of wearing weaves and collaborating with the communities and getting to know them, conversation is always important. So we will give you their contact numbers anyway, and then you can reach out to them. Then you can say, pwede ba to gawing terno? Or pwede ko ba to gawing skirt? Or is it okay if I cut it? Ganyan. So when I was working in Kaayo, everything that I did, I always made sure to ask. So we always had that conversation every day, every other day. And they will teach me, no, you can't do that. This one, you can do that. So all the communities have different traditions and cultures. So it's important to have that conversation with them always. But ultimately now they will just be so proud and so grateful if you will wear what is uniquely theirs.
On a more practical note, I wanted to show what Sir Arnold was wearing. Sir Arnold,
Oh, yes.
Come over
Come
here,
over,
sir.
Sir
Rampa.
Arnold.
Larampa tayo.
come here,
May music
make
ba?
rampa. Look,
May
Sir
music.
Arnold is wearing a bomber jacket,
Come here, Sir Arnold.
which is very
Modern,
modern,
yes.
right?
Oh, rampa daw, rampa.
Oh,
Yes,
nagtagal ng
nagtagal.
bag. Music, please,
In the
music.
middle. Rumampa tayo in the middle.
Oh.
This is Sir Arnold from my mice department. He's working very hard to put mice con together.
I think there are
Maraming
also
salamat.
some ladies, no, in the
Yes.
bomber jacket.
So
yeah.
see, look at how the weaves were incorporated into
Please,
this
join us.
very modern turn around.
Turn
There, ganun talaga, di ba?
Turn around.
Very modern way of doing it.
Love it.
Diba? Yeah. Ay, gano'n.
So basically, that's
Yes.
that's just one way I wanted to show it to the gentleman who came up to
Yes.
ask that question, because this is a great way to do it, and you can wear it when you're riding your motorcycle and all these things, diba?
I think also for, if I may suggest, for like more formal or business scenarios, you can actually put like a hanky as a pocket square of
Oh,
like,
yes.
you just need a tiny tiny fabric, and let's pretend that this is blazer. You can just put it here, and then
that
just
can be a
it'll
weave, yeah.
Or if you were friends with like a designer, or you can also just bring it to like your mananahe, and you can just incorporate, maybe just change the back.
Naloko
you're
si
still
Sir
here.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please,
Wait,
Thank you, Sir
Thank you, Sir
Arnold.
Arnold.
Yes, but again, these are different weaves from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
So like pretty much like how Kaayo does it. No? Sometimes they change the pocket to incorporate some of the weaves, or you can also do the reverse of your collar or your cuffs. Sometimes I've seen also in Kaayo or some other brands, they do the side seam, yeah, or like the hem. These are like small touches or small, really small ways on how
And
to
very
incorporate
practical
it.
ways to incorporate it, so you carry your culture. Yeah. Thank you for that question. To the brave gentleman.
Again, for our team, let's put that list together so we can give all our participants, no? Sir Arnold, we'll put that together. Ma'am Baby actually has that, Baby Landan.
Okay, we'll have one more question. Anyone else? Last? Okay, there you go.
Good afternoon. We in the tourism industry, we attend a lot of social functions, activities, even here and abroad. I think one of the challenges is mostly the Filipiniana fabrics, or the ready-made clothes are kind of expensive. So if you could give us a tip or tips on how we can, find clothes, or how we can mix match, or any brand material that, it won't be expensive for us.
Yeah, no, that's true, no? But there's a wide range now of, well, not a lot, but there are other brands who are not naman that expensive. But I think I go back to Kat's recommendation, because once you buy the tela, let's say you get 1 meter, and then you just can slice it up 2 into, you put it in the pocket lang, patahi lang sa pocket, or patahi mo lang sa cuff, or let's say if you have a blazer, and then you can just put in the cuff of the blazer, the weave or tinalak into that. So that won't cost much at all. And then, actually, there is a way to have your clothes embroidered and hand beaded by the communities. So we can give you the number of the Mindanao communities, the Tiboli, What you can do is your long sleeves that you have already, you can have it embroidered actually. You just have to wait 100 years. But I mean, at least it's such a, I mean, you can have it done. Kasi it's ready na. Binili mo na yung long sleeves mo kung saan yun, di ba? Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. So choose the fabrics you like, then make them into accent pieces. And then you can mix and match it then with basic. So for example, you can invest in a basic color of a pencil skirt or an A-line skirt, but you can have different accents of those weaves in your top, for example, or as Kat was saying, your pocket square, or maybe a belt. Like for example, this belt bag here, you can fashion something like that. And then you can change your look with the use of little things or accessories. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
No, I'm just gonna ask if there are more questions.
That's it. No more questions.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining us today. I hope we were able to enlighten you and inspire you. And I want to say thank you to our two special guests, COO Marga Nograles and stylist Kat Villanueva. Thank you guys. Enjoy the next 2 days and I hope you learn a lot from MICECon 2023. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much, COO Marga, Miss Apples Abirin, and Miss Kat Villanueva. Also to our participants, thank you so much for your active participation. That concludes our interactive workshop on power dressing for modern Filipinas.